Donovan, you've started a new fight league, a level fight league, it's called. Why did he start a new fight league inside of a world that is, well, maybe we already have a lot of fighting leagues. And can you explain us why a new one?
For sure, yeah. Basically, Holland is more of a kickboxing country. And the reason why I got into starting a league is because I actually have a sports school also, like an MMA gym. And we just noticed there was nowhere for the guys to really compete consistently. You have Fight Club The Hague. I think, you know, Satish, he does a great job, has been for a long time. But, yeah, it became a little bit inconsistent. Also, during COVID, there was nowhere for people to train because you couldn't have a crowd. Even Fight Club The Hague didn't keep going. So I sat down with my business partner, Bart. I don't know if maybe you met him at the show.
I met him at the show.
Great guy. He's in tech. He's a tech entrepreneur, and just put like a business plan together. And it's like, it looks like there's kind of a bit of a gap in the market in terms of MMA. MMA is the fastest growing sport in the world right now.
It is.
So it was like, let's get a business plan together and get after it.
And where did the love for MMA start for you?
I fought myself for a long time. I've been in martial arts for over 20 years. Started boxing amateur, then professional. And I got into MMA because the MMA fighters in the UK, they would bring me in to kind of get their hands ready for MMA.
Oh, wow.
Because they were basically, you know, there were more grapplers and stuff like this. So it just kind of, it started there. They kept taking me down, so I had to learn like wrestling, as we were talking about earlier, and jiu-jitsu. And I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I just really fell in love with the ground aspect of the game. Just grew from there.
And why is LFL, Level Fight League, why is it different from all the other MMA promotions?
I don't know if it's different. Maybe the philosophy is a little different. Coming as a fighter myself, you know, I kind of, now I'm coaching, you see a lot of the problems from the fighter's perspective, you know, and the philosophy, at least for myself, is just to make sure that the fighters are happy. You know, I think Dana White always says, like, give the people what they want.
Yeah.
I like to include the fighters in that as well, not just like the fans. You know, so after the show, a lot of guys come back like, hey, thanks for letting us be on the platform. You know, they get the exposure that they want. They also, we make sure everybody gets paid, as stupid as it sounds.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody's happy. And yeah, I think that, I don't know if we're different to everybody else, but that's something that we're focused on, that the fighters are also happy.
And you guys started, I believe, in 2020?
Middle of COVID.
Middle of COVID?
Yes. Yeah.
Why start a promotion middle of COVID?
That's more down to my partner. He's like, because we actually, the first few shows that we had was without a crowd, you know, and obviously he's in tech, so it was like, you know, let's just go for the pay-per-view model. We don't need a crowd. So we hired the Kromhout-Hall, you know that?
Yeah.
And obviously they weren't busy because there was no events, so we got a good deal there, and we expected this huge pay-per-view buying model. That didn't happen, but we kept going, and yeah, I don't know. He just thought we'd have a better response from the actual the online side of things. It helped us. It set us up thinking in that way. So when we got the chance to kind of work with like Viaplay and these kind of organizations, it was just a small step to be able to be, you know, for the online model.
Yeah, because LFL is making some great steps right now, and is the mission to compete with KSW, UFC, Bellator in the future, or are you taking it step by step?
Do you know? I keep talking about my partner. I should have brought him here. He's like a tech entrepreneur, so he really thinks that way. I just want to do a good job.
Yeah.
And keep getting better, get better fighters, and just grow periodically, So, of course, you want to be the biggest show on the block, right? But I'm not too focused on that. I leave that to him. And I just, focus more on the actual fighter side of things, the show, match fixing I still really enjoy doing. And I think that's where the combination of the two of us works together, because he's thinking.
You mean matchmaking?
Yeah.
Because
match fixing. Just been some of that going on.
Yeah, because when you say match fixing in Holland, it's like
no.
Okay.
Yeah, matchmaking. Yeah.
Last time I was at your event, I saw Myrtle Groenhart over there. I saw Jason Wilness. Are you expecting more fighters from Glory to come into LFL?
I don't know. I was working on him earlier, but I don't know. We're there. We're on the doorstep. This is Amsterdam. There's so many awesome gyms here. As I also explained to these guys earlier, I've been to a lot of the gyms in Amsterdam. Vosh Gym and Majiro and Mike's Gym, so on. So I do know a lot of the guys from trying to get my kickboxing where it needed to be for my MMA career myself. So, it's a lot of the guys reached out. I spoke to Miles Simpson. He was come down to negotiate with me to the gym the other day. He's a hard businessman. So there's a lot of guys we're talking to who want to step in.
That's interesting. Interesting, because I've seen a lot of fighters going from kickboxing to MMA, and my feeling is looking back to karate, and then I believe that kickboxing took over. Is it the same way with MMA? Is MMA already took over, or are they taking over the
kickboxers?
No, I mean the organization, like MMA. Is it taking over the whole fight sport? Is it getting bigger than kickboxing?
In my opinion, it's the ultimate, right? Because you can be an elite kickboxer or an elite wrestler, but you've got to be able to do all those things together. You have to kind of master, say, at least 4 disciplines. You've got to be able to wrestle. You need to at least be able to have anti-jiu-jitsu. You're striking, you're going to have to kind of modify it a little bit for the game. You can't just, as I was talking earlier, you can't just throw like body kicks to a wrestler.
Yeah.
It's going to grab a hold of it and then throw you over the cage, So I think, if you get athletes like a lot of you guys sat here, once you conquer your sport, it is a next step to be able to keep that.
There's always a next step.
Yeah, it's the ultimate, right? If you're the UFC world champion, you're going to be a heavyweight world champion. It's going to be difficult to beat that guy.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're only the master of one discipline, I would argue that you're not yet the greatest fighter in the world. If that makes sense. I'm coming from an MMA background, so nobody throw no kicks at me.
What do you guys think about LFL? Have you been there? Have you seen it? Hans?
I don't know it.
Oh, okay. And Jay?
Yeah, my nephew was at his gym. He's his trainer, so I've watched his fight. It's very good.
And Donovan, what do you think about, let's say, 5 years from now? Where is LFL standing at that moment?
I mean, the goal would be to be like the Glory of MMA, and that be distributed throughout the world. Everybody knows your name. I wouldn't want to take on like Dana White and the UFC guys because he's a pretty serious man,
It is.
Pretty serious.
He is.
But to be like a feeder show for them, and just my goal is just to really focus on like being a vehicle from guys like Barry you were talking about. They can come as an amateur. They can progress to be an early professional. And you've got like a pathway from literally being new, first day in the gym to all the way through to maybe having like 6 or 7 professional fights, and then maybe the UFC, they're in town, they give you a call, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was competing, it was just kind of like, keep training, fight, hope you can get a fight this year, you know, maybe I'd fight once or twice a year, and just hope
That's
that,
not a lot.
yeah, hope that you can get the right matchups, hope that you can get enough wins and get noticed. You know, if you have a show like what we're doing, which can take you through from your amateurs all the way through to pro, consistently getting fights, then the pathway becomes a little clearer, you know. And that's something that we're focused on. And now there's other great shows like Versus, now mixed with Cage Warriors. There's I think it's Adam, he's a good guy. And like I said, Satish's still knocking him out, you know. There's like 3 different shows now. I don't know if VFL will come back. That was also a fantastic show from your friend.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the goal. Just be a vehicle to get these guys where they need to go.
Who is your top fighter right now in LFL? Make some promotion.
Top fighter?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of credentials, it would have to be Tom Breeze. You know, he was like top 15 UFC for everybody. Guy's an animal. He's our champ. In terms of, from a kickboxing perspective, I'd probably say Myrtle. He's really making some good progress. And he's also focused on the ground now. He understands, like, he's got work to do, you know? So.
How will you keep the fighters not going to another promotion? Because without any offense, let's say UFC is here, Bellator is here, maybe KSW is here, but you guys are starting now 2 years, 2.5 years.
2 years, yeah.
The fighters that are champion over here at your LFL, how will you keep them over there at LFL?
I'm not that focused on that. There's so many young monsters coming up that need the exposure. I'm not too focused on like, okay, this is our guy, that's your guy. You want to fight there, that's fine, you know.
But do you have them on contract?
We have some guys on contract, yeah, but I'm not too focused on keeping.
If they want to go, they can just leave.
Yeah, but we want to build guys, you know. So we just signed, for example, Gino Van Steenis, because he's got a lot of potential. You know, handsome kid. He finishes fights. His brother's from good stock. So he's someone we look to build to go to the big show. So we're not. If someone goes to UFC for us, like Slim Trabelsi, you know, we're happy to send. We're like, hey, one guy trained here, now he's in the UFC. Yes. Tom went to KSW, Jason, KSW. Yeah. So we understand where we are for now, and we're happy just to be, like I said, a vehicle to get to the big shows.
When is the next show?
February 5th.
February 5th. And who's the headliner?
I don't know if I can say. But,
give us the scoop. Give us a scoop. Who's the headliner?
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. Okay.
A guy from Cops Gym against a former Glory champ. I'll say that. So it's gonna be a real wrestler versus striker.
Okay. So we're looking forward. I'm looking forward to the next event of LFL, and because it's you need a lot of courage to start a promotion in the period of COVID, and be able to maintain and to keep on going like you're doing right now together with your partner. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for this conversation. And again, I'm looking forward to the next LFL, and I'm really hoping that it's going to be a big show within 5 years or.
It's going to blow your socks off, mate.
Okay. Thank you. Wil jij de volledige aflevering van Warrior Talk bekijken? Ga dan naar warriorcode.com.